Hello everyone, Krydex here. Welcome back to our Nullius playthrough. It has been a journey getting all this boxed stuff going, but I think we are most of the way there. Um, now that I think about it, I'm quite certain that our oxygen will always be supplied, up to 1,000 barrels at least, just because of how many electrolyzers. I was just looking at the map. We've got this whole bank of electrolyzers going, and then we've also got this whole bank of electrolyzers going. And so, really, when we need any sort of hydrocarbon, we're going to be getting a ton of oxygen from that. So I doubt we're going to have oxygen issues. Just because we use these products in so many different products, it's like, when is oxygen not going to be created? I don't think that'll ever happen. So, in any case, we got our BPA going and our acrylonitrile, which is great. Before I jump into all that, let me take a sip of coffee, though. Delicious. And then, just a couple channel announcements. We are closing in on the Christmas holiday, which is going to be great. I plan on doing quite a bit of streaming at that time. I might even throw in a second game that I stream. I don't know what that would be at the moment, but I've currently been playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, which has been a lot of fun. It's kind of a D&D-esque game, like Baldur's Gate, basically. Kind of like Divinity Original Sin, but just with far more kind of annoying mechanics, to be honest. Like the D&D mechanics don't work perfectly for a video game, but it's still really fun, and I would recommend it to anyone that's into that sort of stuff. And Pyanodons is going to be my next Factorio playthrough, but we're still a ways from that. And I also want to wait for the alternative energy update to come out, as well as the balancing updates. There will be some really big ones that change recipes and tech tree stuff. And I don't really want to start a new game and then, 2 weeks later or a month later, like everything changes and I have to rebuild it all. So we're going to wait until all that comes out before we start our Pyanodons playthrough. So count down the days. We have BPA, so I still need plastic and rubber here. So let's go ahead and do that. We got our acrylonitrile going. So then, let's see, jump into the rubber block. That is literally just chem plants. Oh, and solvent. We don't have solvent yet, so we'll do this one. We have all this stuff. So let's throw another couple beacons here. And I probably will have to improve my power generation at some point. Feel like I'm kind of surprised everything's still working in terms of power. How much did these generate again? Up to 2.5, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But that generates 30 megawatts, so we get like 28 megawatts from each of those, so I'm definitely going to need more. But yeah, my fumarole situation is not great, so we're gonna need a decent amount of this for volcanic gas as well. So we're gonna want to upgrade these with modules and beacons, because I'm gonna start using a lot of sulfuric acid, and I don't want to have to worry about that. So I'm thinking I want at least like 500 per second volcanic gas. All right, so chem plants. We'll just start dumping these down. And we want plastique. There we go. And that is already more than enough. Oh, it was counting those. Okay. Okay, so we need 5 inputs. BPA box. I will have here. And then what's the rate it needs? 0.07. So I think I'm fine doing this. And then this. And that'll save me a little bit of logistics in the long run, but, you know, still make it simple. I think I can deal with 10. 10 is fine. I only needed 6 per second. 6.4. Oh, I haven't put in the productivity. Maybe I will need one more. That gives me, yeah, 5.7. Alright, we'll do one more block. Can't hurt. We do need more bots down here. Just make sure we have bot coverage pretty much everywhere. Don't want any concavity. Okay, we'll do 50, copy that. You know the nice thing about building like this, which I'm not used to because I normally am just doing the minimum to get by, is I can just not care about buffers being huge. Like, okay, request 50, request 100, I don't care. Like, I have so much output BPA that it's all going to fill up really fast anyway. Okay, and we decided we are not barreling acrylonitrile, or we are? Oh, that's, yeah, we're not barreling. This is the output. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we want to barrel it. We've got plenty of space right here and all the things that require acrylonitrile. There's only 3 of them, so I'm just going to build them all here. So let's move this up, and then we'll kind of just go here, and then a T right there. So there's the acrylonitrile, and then we need styrene and butadiene. Styrene's right here, butadiene's right here. And are we building all the stuff that requires those as well? I can't remember. Styrene. Styrene is literally only for plastic boxes. That's the only thing in the game I'm ever going to use it for. So definitely not barreling that. And butadiene, I think, was the same. But let's double check. Butadiene is for plastic boxes and rubber boxes. Yep. Okay. So then that, we haven't even hooked it up to anything. So we'll have that go across. Which one is this? This is styrene. And styrene is the liquid. So that's this one. So there we go. That's hooked up. And then we need butadiene, which is here, and that's the gas, and that we can hook up here. And we will that come up. And then we can actually just put that there and that. Oh my gosh, it's one tile too short. Are you serious? Okay, so we do need that. Alright, there we go. And those make 118. Oh yeah, those only use a very small amount. Although the styrene 17, these are using 15, so the styrene amount's pretty close to 100% usage, but I think styrene was the one that's only used for plastic, right? Yeah, okay. So there we go. We now have ridiculous amounts of plastic. So that will be happening. Not gonna have to worry about plastic for probably the rest of the game. Maybe there will be a time when this isn't enough, but I have a feeling this will get us through to the end. Especially because we're going to get tier 3 buildings. So once we upgrade all our buildings to tier 3, then this is going to be bonkers. And we'll just let that fill up. I don't think I need to prioritize that. Plastic's not a byproduct. So just to make sure we have enough, we're going to fill up 2 boxes. Can't hurt. And this fits on 15 a second, right? Yeah. Okay, there we go. So that's all we need for plastic, and now we do rubber. rubber requires 3 liquid inputs. So I actually am incentivized to change what I just did, because I can fit it between the same beacons and save myself some hassle. So we're going to switch to something like this. And then copy that. And I even considered this when I built it the first time, and I was like, nah, I don't need something different, and then here we are. In this case, it might just behoove me to do a large supply chest and limit it to something like that. Those are actually only 6 a second. That's less than I thought it was. That'll improve it a little bit. I guess he can even do that. There we go. Okay. I love how slow these recipes are. 40-second crafting time. Because it's making a recipe that makes 8, but then it's doing 5 of them. So now there's enough room for my rubber. And what's really nice is it even uses the same gases here, so this can just come right on over, and acrylonitrile can also come right on over. And then we're gonna have to make solvent, because I haven't done that yet. And then we're gonna need to copy this for my rubber boxes. So do that, copy the recipe, productivity. I should say yield when I do that, because I'm technically doing yield modules. And then how many did it say I needed for rubber? 8. So 4, 6, 8. Man, construction bots are a beautiful thing. And then rubber, I think we most certainly can just do 1 chest, because we need about half as much. So that should be fine. And now acrylonitrile, we can have just come over and up to there. And now solvent is something I need. Why didn't I... What all is solvent used in? Isn't it used in epoxy? It's used in batteries. It's used in epoxy, it's used in rubber, so we want a lot of solvent. How do we make solvent again? Methanol, monoxide, and oxygen. Interesting. Methanol, monoxide, and oxygen. So, we're making methanol already. But how much methanol are we making? Also, how are my bots doing? I haven't checked on them in a while. They're definitely struggling. I should probably dump a couple hundred more in the network. When do I get logistics bot 3? Am I going to get that anytime soon? Because those carry 5. Probably will be 6 by the time I get them. And they travel about 50% faster. And they'll carry about twice as much. So, I mean, those are going to be like tripling my bot throughput, basically. They are in physics science. They do require a bunch of stuff I don't have yet. Speed module 2, logistics bot 2, frame 3. Yeah, we're not going to see those for a while. So let's dump a couple hundred more in the network. If I can remember where I'm even making them. Here. Somewhere around here. Construction bot, we have 126. Let's make that... Oh, okay, 10 more. Okay. And then where are... Did I? Oh, they're up here. Okay. I was like, crap, did I screw something up? So we'll just dump all those in. And then I think somehow I put 1 in the storage network. So we'll put 2 more in. There we go, 1800. So 300 more of those should allow quite a bit of excess throughput. I'm not centered here, am I? I've started trying to figure out, like, where does my chair go in relation to my desk for my face to actually be in the middle of the camera? Okay. Now I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, how much methanol am I making? That's what I'm doing. Because methanol is up here. Oh gosh. I need concrete over here. Are we ready for a concrete party again? We are. Okay. Well, that's good. So let's do that. We are making 57 methanol per second. And that could be improved. Could be improved for sure. And we're barreling all of it. Okay. So that we can use. Now, monoxide is a bit trickier. But what's interesting about monoxide is we can make it from methane anyway. Right? Or no. No, we make methane. Is that a loop? That's a loop, isn't it? Because don't we make... Ugh, we really need concrete over here. Everything's so far apart. Because we're making methane from... Oh, from dioxide. Okay, that's right. And then methane can make monoxide back, but we're actually not doing anything with carbon monoxide over here. We are compressing... This isn't even... Top... Wow, I didn't do any sort of priority on this? Shouldn't we have this as like an overflow? Did I just leave an empty space? Oh, just make sure we don't. Shouldn't this be like an overflow of some sort? We only barrel compressed carbon dioxide if we have enough of it for all of our methane. Okay, so we do have compressed carbon dioxide. So monoxide, basically what I'm trying to decide right now is, do I want monoxide to be in the network at all? Is that worth it? We definitely would never want to use that recipe. We also use it to make graphite. We're already using heaps of it to make all this stuff. So graphite and solvent are the only places it would be used. And we're getting it as a byproduct somewhere. I'm trying to remember where that is. Something up here, in fact. I seem to remember. Was giving me monoxide as a byproduct. What was it? Was it something? There. Here it is. It's the silicon ingots. Because they use graphite. Now graphite, where am I making that? I'm making that out of just methane, actually. Are there two ways to make graphite? But I don't even need monoxide for graphite. Oh, we get ceramic powder gives us monoxide back as well. But yeah, this is the one I'm using. 3 graphite boxes to 250 carbon monoxide. Well, 3 graphite boxes are using like 100 compressed methane, which is like 150. Yeah, I mean, it's giving us like half the monoxide back. Anyway, I am super digressing. I think what we want to do... The fact that these are all running scares me. Why are these all running? These shouldn't all be running. Unless propane's not full. Is propane not full? No, propane's full. So what are they doing? This is worrisome. Is benzene just filling up still? 'Cause this is disabled. That's good. That should be disabled. So these, okay, we literally just caught the tail end of it as I think it was catching up from the rubber and plastic that we enabled. Okay, so these should stop soon. Oof. So then carbon monoxide, I think what I might do... Oh, we're out of methane. Why are we out of methane? Oh, never mind. These are just to use up the methane. These are the ones that make dioxide, and then these are the ones that make monoxide from scratch. How much monoxide is it? These make 128, and I need... And I don't know how much solvent I need. That's the tricky part. I mean, just for kicks, let's look at how much solvent we've used. I still don't think these numbers are right, but solvent is 140k versus plastic, which is 180. So solvent and plastic numbers roughly equal. So if I'm making 30, because it's 5 each, plastic a second, 30 solvent a second should be enough based on what that my production graph has been. I assume the ratios will change, but it'll at least be in the ballpark. So we want to unlink that and say 30 a second. That's only 30 compressed carbon monoxide. So I think what I'm comfortable doing is actually just making another one of these. Hopefully everything fits. Yeah, that should be fine. This is a little wonky, but that connects there. So I'll make another one. So now the dioxide they need is 240, which these still create. Are these sending dioxide somewhere else? Oh yeah, they're also sending dioxide there. And what about hydrogen? Who knows how much hydrogen we need there. But I mean, if I just add another few beacons, unfortunately these are going to be super minus 24% total. That's still something. It's just not very much. Plus 5% to 3 buildings. Well, why not? We'll leave it. At least they consume less electricity. So I'll just assume that's good enough. I also forgot these can use speed beacons. So that should make it plenty of air. So then the only question is electrolyzers, which we can just... I mean, what the heck? We'll just add another one. Oh, that one wasn't even connected. Good thing I did that. So now we have 2 more electrolyzers. So that'll always be enough. The water, I feel like, was already too much, so that's fine. Okay, so this was all just to make sure we have barreled, compressed carbon monoxide. So I will put 1 barreler. Yeah, because of the speed modules, that should be fine. Compressed carbon monoxide. Up to 80 per second. That should be fine. We do want overflow from 70. And then this needs a condition. Compressed carbon monoxide barrel is less than 1,000. Because we will have active providers on that as well. So that'll do it. Methanol's good. 60 methanol a second, though. That is far more than I have. And how much methane am I making? The other bad part is we're not extracting any methane from this, which we could be, because we just repurpose all of the methane back into carbon monoxide. And this whole setup over here is just for methane. Which feels excessive now that I'm looking at it. Like, couldn't... That's for 213 methane. Surely this can be sped up. This has got to make things faster, right? I mean, what's the air we're looking at? 4320. We drop a beacon with a speed module, and we have... Yeah, I mean, that speeds things up, as it should. So 235 compressed methane. That is a lot of compressed methane. And then the methanol numbers are only using 78 of that to get 57. So let me add a few more methanol buildings while I'm looking at it. And then I need a concrete party. Gosh, I'm wasting concrete by not. I need a second chest is what I need. But let me just improve the methanol setup here. I'll just add a bunch more so that the methanol should be enough. 102 per second, 140, so this is no longer fast enough. We need another unbarreler. Let's make that 2. We'll just make it 300. Why not? Just make sure there's enough. Okay. And then the oxygen amount was 70.2. That's literally just barely enough. So let's... Small beacon? There we go. As long as that's got enough in it, which it looks like it does. Okay, and then the methanol production is up to 105, which these can more than handle. Because methanol is never compressed. Okay. Alright, let's go look at our concrete real quick. How's power doing? We're at 300 megawatts, which, if we look back, wind is mostly providing the power that we need over the last hour. When we're kicking on Stirling Engine 2s, they're only getting up to 54 megawatts. Which is definitely less than their capacity. Ooh, wind just died. There you go. So 70 megawatts, yeah. I'll need more power at some point, but now it seems to be fine. Concrete. I'm just going to add another one of these. Oops. There we go. Turn off logistics. I need a large chest, but I don't have one. What's the best way to do this? Well, I think this is still the best way to do this. It's just annoying. Okay. And then we take all of it. And there we go, 50,000. Alright, well the good news is we will finish out the insides of our old base. Because that only needs probably like 5,000 or something. And then we should be able to get started on some of the new area. Okay. Almost there. Got that done. One more little strip, and we should be good. Alright. Ta-da! Yeah, that used about 8,000. And now this whole... Wait, why does... What is that? Circle. Oh, it's the turret. Somehow that's the range of that artillery turret. Okay. Now, I could have bots place concrete. That is kind of the ultimate lag-inducing measure. And at some point, if I have enough bots, I may start doing that, but I do not have enough construction bots for that at the moment. Because they only place one at a time, which is really annoying. Unless that's changed, and I missed it. It would be sweet if they placed more than one at a time, but I don't think they do. Oh no. Gotta have nice straight lines. Wow, that is not far enough to the right. We'll do a little bit of jagged edges here. We'll have a concrete party, we don't need nobody. Alright. We are gonna be walking faster now. This is as big as the little cursor gets, so I gotta just swing it around in circles. This is where long reach is kind of handy. You know, even a couple tiles more on the radius makes this wave. And I mean, we're already upgraded from vanilla, because, you know, that's what I like about Nullius, is it kind of has the quality of life research stuff baked in. It's not quite as powerful as quality of life research in terms of the number of researches you get and the power at each tech level, but it at least has it as part of the game, which I like. Because you're an android rather than a human engineer. And so you're like upgrading your robot body, which I think is pretty cool. How are we doing? Oh, we're almost out. Can we at least finish this chunk down here, the methane chunk? And the answer's no. Alright, well, there you go. There's 50,000 more concrete. Finished that out and got this corner. So we at least are almost caught up in terms of like concrete is covering the current base. All right. And they should be done, thankfully, with refractory bricks. And I don't know how... Oh gosh, where am I? I don't know how many refractory bricks you end up needing in the game, but I have a feeling that I might... that's actually only like 20,000. Never mind. I was about to say I probably have enough refractory bricks for the rest of the game, but that's probably not true. For some reason, I thought there was way more in here. Okay, there we go. Back to building. So what were we building? Solvent, I believe. So... solvent... methanol monoxide. That's not the one we're doing. We're doing compressed. Are the ratios the same? 40 to 10... 80 to 20, 40 to 20, 20 to 10. Yeah, they're exactly the same. And twice as fast, which is the nice thing. So boxed recipes aren't faster, but they're allowed to be done in a building that's one tier bigger. But the compressed recipes are actually faster, which is nice. Why don't I move that and actually just do this right here? Solvent. Boxed. That's epoxy. Oh, I guess it's not really boxed solvent. It's just solvent pressurized. Oh, interesting. Okay. Because the solvent itself isn't pressurized, but it's using pressurized ingredients. So we only need a couple of these, right? Yeah, I mean, heck, even allowing for massive amounts of expansion later, that will be more than enough. So we're already unbarreling oxygen there, but we need 150 per second. 80 is really 320. So I could just bring over this oxygen. We've got plenty. What is happening here? Oh, wait, we're also giving oxygen to that with just 300. Oh, dear. This actually isn't fast enough. Maybe that'll help. 90 is now 360. Which is still not technically enough for both of those to run full time. Oh, yeah, I added another one. Never mind, we're good. 80 plus 90. That is plenty of compressed oxygen. Because then that only uses about half of one of those. And the other half can go towards this. And then we need methanol and compressed monoxide, both of which can just be unbarreled at the rate of 1 unbarreler. So we'll fit that in, and then that. This will be, which one? That's monoxide. Unbarreling, compressed, request a bunch. And then this is methanol. Empty methanol barrel. What's the rate? 82, so more than 1 barrel a second. So let's make that 150. And then wastewater, we just, oh, that's a lot of water. Wastewater, we just dump. I like the way it looks with the concrete all the way up to the edge of the water. It looks like a like giant pit of water, which is cool. And then finally we need some barrelers on solvent. I think just one. And do I need a barreler? How many things is solvent in? We need it for epoxy, which I can make right here because ECH is made, well, ECH I can make anywhere, I guess. But ECH goes into epoxy and glycerol only, so I should probably make those wherever I make ECH. And epoxy needs BPA and solvent, both of which are made right here. And glycerol needs those two, which I can bring in. So I should probably make all this right here anyway. So what else is solvent used in? It's also used in batteries, so I do need to barrel it then. So epoxy barrel fill. Oh, sorry, solvent barrel fill. There we go. Barrels of solvent. And that'll take a second, but that is 1 barrel a second. That's not bad. So that should be more than enough solvent for the long run. Get rid of the barrels in my inventory. Okay, and then the solvent is needed for this. I guess I can prioritize rubber. I mean, it makes sense to some level. I guess, how do I do that with this setup? Here, we'll do that, and then we'll have a overflow. This is needlessly complicated. But then I can connect this to the solvent input here. Okay, and now the rubber is going. So we will send this solvent to rubber first, which only needs, all of this only needs 1.8 solvent per second. So that's gonna fill up real quick. But these buildings, even though they only require 0.25 solvent per second, they need to build up to 500 solvent in the internal buffer. I don't know why that is. I don't know how these internal buffers get decided. Acrylonitrile is only buffering up to 80, which is only 40 seconds worth. That's more reasonable. And the 600 is 40 seconds worth. But solvent, and I wonder if it has to do with they're the inline ones rather than the external input ones. I wonder if that's what it has to do with. Because solvent is buffering. I mean, we're already at 150 seconds worth of solvent in each building. So that's a lot of wasted solvent that I'll never get back, because it'll always be in these buildings. But like I said, the nice thing is I don't have to worry about buffers, because I have such big production on everything, which is great. Sweet. There we go. We did it. Plastic and rubber. Ding, ding. And then... yeah, I mean, that'll build up pretty fast. We're finally up to 500 solvent on the front one. Looks like 500 is where it's going to stop. Yeah, the inline... so check this out. Okay, so like styrene is 1.1 per second. So you can see it's buffered to 40, which is about 40 seconds. Butadiene is about 1.5. Again, about 40 seconds worth. But then the inline buffer, which is acrylonitrile, just fills to 500 no matter what, which is that's like 600 seconds worth. These would run for 10 minutes without any extra acrylonitrile. And same thing here with compressed oxygen. So that's a weird, I wonder if it can't calculate 40 seconds worth of that, because it is properly doing... wait a second. This is not doing 40 seconds for methanol. So why is it doing 80 and 40? Why is it not doing more? It's interesting. I guess I don't know how the buffers work. Because here we're doing 30 methanol per second. But there's only 80 methanol in it. That's only 2 seconds worth. So I guess the buffers are maybe somewhat arbitrary? I guess. Oh, man. LSV is streaming. One of my favorite Magic streamers. Magic the Gathering, if you guys are into that. I've also been playing some Legends of Runeterra recently. They added a new game mode, which is kind of almost like a roguelite deck building adventure, like versus the AI, which is really fun. Highly recommend that if you're into battling card games. Also, Runeterra has a far less predatory monetization system, so you can actually play for free, which Magic, you can barely play for free. I digress. What are we at time-wise? 45 minutes, so we still got some time in this episode. I don't really want to. I'm really tired of all these. I want to get back to solid items, but let's finish out like the ECH and epoxy, and because we need that for fiberglass and a lot of other things anyway. So okay, so back to production. If epoxy 204,000, plastic. So I need about equivalent numbers of epoxy. So I need about 30 epoxy per second. So I might as well make that like right here. We'll keep the beacon going. Epoxy. We do need ECH, which I know I haven't done yet, but we will do that here in a second. The reason this is nice is the wastewater can just be hooked up to the same wastewater dumping line. The solvent, I can actually just directly, no, I can't quite do it on that here. Solvent can just be directly hooked up if I can find the right hotkey. And copy that down. And then BPA, I actually want to copy this setup. Just with a different request. Oh no, wait, wrong recipe. We need boxes of BPA. There we go. So it actually is the exact same request, which is funny. We need BPA boxes for this too. 60 feels like enough. Yeah, 1 per second. Maybe we'll go 90. Just to make sure. And then copy that. We need some power down here. That is 70 epoxy per second. More than enough for the rest of my life. Or at least the rest of physics science. 80 ECH per second is the next thing I need. Where do I put that? Probably up here. Which means this oxygen is in the way. We'll do that. Now, what was trying to attach? This guy? Okay, that should still be okay. I didn't mess with it. So ECH is interesting because it requires some things we don't have over here. Now, there's only one recipe now, but it says ECH1. What's the other recipe? ECH2, which we don't get until the biochemistry stage, which is forever away. So propene, chlorine, and caustic solution. All of those are... And we get brine out, which is kind of random. So... Yield on that. So that's only 50 a second. So we definitely need more ECH than certain other things. How's that? That is 92 a second. And I need 80 a second for that at most, which is already double what I need, but anyway. We also need ECH for glycerol in smaller amounts. It's almost a 1-to-1 for epoxy, whereas glycerol it's a 2. Oh, that's worse. Right. But the amount of glycerol that I use, I'm sure, is far lower than epoxy. If I go over to fluids, 10 hours, epoxy's at 204K, glycerol is at, oh, basically, so that's for like the explosives, I think. All that to say, this is probably more than enough. So let's get all the pipes hooked up. There's no solid inputs, so this is fine. Crap. I really should have thought this through. So those need to go up. These do not. Now we need to purge these systems. Okay. So now we need some rock destroying, some basic unbarreling at rates that will be quite high, actually. Oh my gosh. As soon as I get tier 3 buildings, my propane setup has got to get upgraded. That's going to be a hold up for sure. So 1 for caustic solution, 2 for chlorine. and 1 for propene. Should be fine. And I don't think I have that much chlorine per second either, so we're gonna struggle here. But 2 for chlorine, 1 for propene, 1 for caustic solution. Just hook that up. This is caustic solution unbarreling. This is propene unbarreling. This is chlorine unbarreling. Twice. We need, just to make sure we've got enough, 150 barrels on each. Propene, we probably need even more than 100, what is it, like 300 barrels. Caustic solution, same thing. In fact, these should be more as well. I don't mind the buffers. The buffers are fine. I finally got up to enough empty barrels, so we should be fine. I don't mind wasting a little bit in a buffer to not have to worry about it later. Okay, so there's ECH. Did we decide we're using all the ECH right here? It just goes into glycerol and epoxy, so yeah. So we won't barrel up ECH unless ECH is a byproduct, which it's not. Because when we have something as a byproduct, it's nice to barrel it because then we can easily prioritize it with circuitry, you know, on the logistics network. Okay, so ECH just needs to come down to here. So we'll have that come along the front, which unfortunately lines up perfectly with the brine. So we're going to switch this around so the ECH is in the front, because then I don't have to move anything. And then that'll just extend straight down. And there we go. Epoxy is good to go. And we need to barrel that up, which is gonna happen. Wait, are we barreling epoxy? Yeah, that goes into a million things, right? Fiber, okay, yeah. Definitely barreling epoxy. Barreling. Okay. Epoxy, fill, barrel. That can handle plenty. And there we go. So that'll fill up my epoxy barrels all the way up. Solvent is nice and done filling up. Now this guy doesn't get pipes for some reason. Oh, right, because I connected ones I didn't want connected. There we go. Okay, so now we just have to deal with brine. Now, brine is kind of weird. Is it an ingredient in anything? Is it worth barreling? I mean, brine makes salt. It makes soda ash. And then it's also used in, like, these lithium. What? Huh. Because it doesn't seem worth barreling for the salt or sodium hydroxide or chlorine stuff, because at that point, we can just make that on site. But this uses a pretty small amount of brine per second that I wonder if it's worth barreling it rather than making it on site for the soda ash. Well, I mean, we already have this set up for a reason, so we will just active liquid barrel the brine. Right here. And this is brine barrel. This is brine barrel less than 1,000, and then we don't have to worry about it. So now we will fill the barrels, and there we go. Beautiful. Look at all this progress. Our power usage is still at about 300 megawatts, which is gonna bite me in the butt. I probably... did I expand the logistics? I did. Okay. So let me, while I'm thinking about it, add in some more power here. And that will really help. That's a lot of power. And I probably need one of these on this corner. And then we're going to need radars on those corners. Where are the radars? There. There. One on the corner. Okay. That'll take my bots forever, but I don't really care. We got time. Okay, so we did ECH, we did epoxy. I don't want to do it. Glycerol, here we come. Glycerol. I think that's the only thing left, right? Of all these things. So we'll do glycerol boxed, which requires just chem plants, ECH, and hydrochloric acid. So we might as well do that here. This feels like a good spot. We'll kind of move those bots over. Take advantage of the ECH nearby and the empty space. Glycerol. This is probably enough. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's too many. There's no reason to do that. In fact, we don't even need this other. I feel like this is gonna be more than enough. Yeah, that alone uses 84 ECH per second, which is more than I can make. So we're gonna just call it quits at 3 buildings. Just to make sure we're gonna go up on all these. Okay, now ECH, I can just have loop around here. And then you need 2 unbarrelers. And then we need wastewater management. So these are for, what's that even called? Hydrochloric acid? Yeah, that's the one. We'll do 2 hundos. That's not 200. 200, what? Yeah, that's right. Okay. And then, oh yeah, we need sodium hydroxide boxes, which honestly, I can just have 1. What's the usage? 5.6 per second? Yeesh. So we'll do 300 boxes. Why not? You know, big buffers. I like big buffers, and I cannot lie. We'll do our outfall right here. Oh, that's weird. What did I just do? Oh, I overlapped it 1 square. Oops. Just kidding. I didn't want to do that. Should I? My, wanting to be proper is telling me I should do active liquid. Shouldn't I be doing that here too? Because I'm getting wastewater from a lot of places. I never... Here's the thing. I never want to run out of wastewater. All of this stuff together makes how much wastewater? About 500. So instead of having 2 separate wastewaters, here's what we'll do. We will cover up the hole. We will hook this wastewater into this one, which means a T shape right here, and then another T connecting them. And then I'm going to do active liquid barreling. And we're just going to hook that up right here. And then we're just going to have a second outfall. And that way we at least will have extra wastewater barrels for when we need them. There we go. That makes me happier. So now we're making glycerol, and we need to barrel that. Barreling. Glycerol. Let's put it right here. Fill glycerol barrel. And that should do it. And that'll take a while to fill up. 400 seconds though, that's fine. No need to decrease the buffer. Okay. There we go. I think that's everything. ECH, solvent, epoxy. What else did solvent go in? Did we get all the things? Epoxy, rubber. I guess there's batteries. So we are barreling solvent for that. Yeah, that's right. Right there. Okay. And then ECH. We got both things that use ECH, right? Epoxy and glycerol. And epoxy is used in a million things, so that's why it's being barreled. Woohoo! Alright, well, I think that's a perfect place to end the episode. We have all of our complicated acids and plastics and whatever these are. And look at that chemical formula. C3H5ClO. I don't even know how you would name that, other than ECH, I guess. We're probably actually out of barrels. No, we still have 1.8 thousand. We got plenty. So, there you go. Chlorine is actually a holdup, but I'm not going to be using this much glycerol, so I'm not... Once I have faster bots, they'll deliver 200 even faster, but maybe we just call that 300. It'll get there eventually. I don't want to have to worry about throughput issues. So, okay, we'll call it an episode there, but thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you all next time.